Going live. Here we go. Playing the intro now.
The Out There channel.
Please sub and share.
We're a wee bit early.
Searching for the truth. UFOs, aliens, greys and ufology. Real images, real stories, real videos, real cases, researched and investigated by professionals in the field and cutting-edge discoveries. Multiple witnesses, abduction accounts brought to you by Team The Out There channel. Good to be back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Action.
Eyesight's a bit bad. Okay, are you seeing my desktop okay there, Max?
Okay, Paul. Okay, there.
It's still playing a bit of.
Office.
Yeah, okay. You're up and running.
Now, are the folks going to be able to see me?
Yep. I can see you in the corner, and
Okay.
I can go full screen if you want to. I'll do that in a minute. Hang on, there's a few things to do here. Today's show.
Okay. But I mean, your listeners will be able to see me, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, hang on.
Yeah, you're definitely live now, so if you pick your nose, they'll see it.
Okay, yeah.
You'll be surprised what people do when they don't realise they're being filmed.
Oh, I can imagine. You know.
There's some podcast that clips his toenails while he's live on the air and all sorts of crazy stuff. I'm just posting up some stuff on the side comments, and I'll post up your web link as well. Although it's in the description, people should be able to get to it here. How do we get to the home page on this? Books, I suppose. You haven't got a home tab, I see. I suppose it would be under books. We'll just do it under about then. Just post that round on the side. Max. Okay. We'll just give a wee bit of time for people that don't realise we're on midweek. Normally do weekend, because I wasn't sure how many's going to show up, but they'll probably they will watch it off air for sure. At the moment, we've only got 4, and it's not so good. Oh no, 6 now. Okay, more people are showing up now.
Okay. So you have a counter there, right? You know how many people.
Yeah, I got a counter of all my main domains there that gives us a rundown. Apart from Twitch, I haven't got Twitch added in there. Yes, so Pild's had 19 people drop by, and 2 are currently watching. So that's good. Anybody out there on YouTube yet? Just say hi in the side chat. Anyone? Waiting for people to show. Well, we're a bit early. Got a couple of minutes, really. Normally it ends up being a wee bit late because there's always some technical fault that happens or some changes overnight. Yeah, so today we got Max Furek. Is that how you say your name? Furek? How'd you say last name?
Furek, yeah, Maxim Furek.
And what origin does that come from? Is that Czechoslovakian?
Yeah, Czechoslovakian, right.
Oh, right, cool. Former psychologist and addictions counselor. So that would have kept you pretty busy, I'd say. Addictions are pretty rampant nowadays.
The field kept on evolving or devolving, depending on how you look at it.
So
pretty interesting.
So you grew up through the 60s, was it?
Yes, I sure. Yeah.
So you would have been like the Beatles fan or Rolling Stones fan?
Yeah, I mean, with that English invasion thing, that was a big part of my my youth, my growing up, and it was at every all the rhythm and blues, that we had here in America. The British just took that song and they repurposed it. They redid
they did too.
In a very refreshing way, which was unique, and we loved the British mercy beat sound, applied to these songs, more than the R&B sound. So it was there were good times, there were heady times.
Yeah, Earl Grey Anderson from MUFON that we have on occasionally. He's a big Beatles fan.
Oh, okay. And where's he from? Which MUFON?
He's from Southern California. He's in Southern California. He's also a musician, believe it or not. It's amazing how many talented people in ufology are good artists and musicians or creative people. But you need that kind of thinkers in this field to analyze cases, of course. You also need critical thinking, and you need to keep middle ground always. Try not to let your confirmation bias get in the way, because some people out there are just tricksters, right? And
absolutely, yeah.
Trying to make money off the field, or or trying to be like disinformation for the government. So you've had a really interesting past here. So I'll let you, instead of me just read out stuff here, maybe you can just do a better intro than what we can do by reading out and question you. So
I'd be glad to.
Why don't you start from your early days and work up to your current days, maybe? Because from what you do, you seem like an amazing person that's done lots of things in your life and still doing it with kayaking and bushwalks or mountain trails and all that sort of stuff. So you're pretty active, and you live in Florida.
I'm a snowbird. My wife and I spend summers in Pennsylvania, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And there's only a number of commonwealths up there. We have Pennsylvania, Virginia, and I believe Massachusetts. There's just a handful of them, and I'm not sure the difference between a commonwealth and a state. But anyway, I spent summers in Pennsylvania, and I'm down here in Florida now, and working on my next project, which is, and I don't know if your viewers can see this, but this is paranormal.
Yeah, I'll go full screen.
Okay. Paranormal apocalypse. Is this how it ends? And there's a gray dressed as the Grim Reaper, and there you could see the hourglass. And
so it just popped over.
author of the Sheppton mythology, which pretty much kicked everything off for me. I'm a former psychologist and rock journalist, and dabbled in that. I mean, had a lot of success with that, a lot of joy. But in 2016, I published a book on the Sheppton mining disaster of 1963. And,
that's quite interesting, that one.
Someplace. And that book, if I may.
Yeah, you're getting a wee bit of reflection off your screen on the cover of that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so anyway, that book from 2000.
How did you research that one? Did you go and interview a lot of people that were still alive, or family members?
Over 100 people. Over 100 people that were involved in the rescue, that were related to the miners, all that. And it was just the Sheppton mythology was a paranormal tale. It was probably one of the most bizarre coal mine accidents in history. But this one, back where I live in northeastern Pennsylvania, there's a lot of anthracite coal. That's coal mining. That was, there was, not now, but that's the hard coal that burns long, it burns hard. And we claim that our area in northeastern Pennsylvania fueled the Industrial Revolution, that it was on the backs of hard coal. So, that's our claim to fame. But the other side of the story with mining was that it was a horrible, horrible profession. And they would go and bring people over from Poland or Lithuania or the Ukraine or, and they would, and Italy, and they would work down in the mines. And they were nothing more than indentured servants. It was a horrible profession. A lot of them got black lung, got all kinds of tuberculosis, or got maimed. So anyway, that was that. But with the Sheppton mine disaster of 1963, it was a story of human survival. And 3 men went down there for 2 weeks, and only 2 of them were rescued. And the townspeople wanted to know what happened to the 3rd miner. And there were allegations that he was cannibalized. There were allegations that the 2 miners that were rescued, ate their mate. And that happened back in 1963 when this story broke. And even till today, there's people that believe that he was canonized. As a matter of fact, Paul, the son of the missing miner, the miner that ostensibly was, or allegedly was cannibalized, the son believes that they ate his father. So he talks about that. So it's just a horrible story. But getting away from the cannibalism, this Sheppton was wrapped in paranormal themes. There were incidents of out-of-body experience, near-death experience, and after-death experience. And I want to cite the apparition of Pope John the 23rd. Pope John the 23rd had died in June of 63. Sheppton took place in August of 63. The Pope's appearance happened after his death. And all 3 of the purported miracles of Pope John the 23rd happened after he had died. So the Catholic nun that I talked to said, yes, that, the Pope died, went to heaven, got his authority, got his power, and came down here and worked all those miracles. So that's how she explained this. One interesting thing for your listeners, Pope John the 23rd was canonized in 2014. And at that time, Pope Francis decided that he was going to do something different. He would have a dual canonization. So it wasn't just one, but it was a twofer. So in 2014, 2 men were canonized as saints. One was Pope John the 23rd, who was the hero of Sheppton. They created the miracle at Sheppton. But the other one was Pope John Paul II. And Pope John Paul II, his claim to fame was that he was an exorcist. He believed that the devil exists. He believed that evil exists. And Pope John Paul II convened a college for exorcists, and he brought in priests from around the world, from 132 different countries, to learn this ancient medieval rite of exorcism so that they could do battle with demonic spirits. So Pope John Paul II believed that the demons did exist, that the devil does exist, that evil does exist, and and so do I. That's my belief as well. That that we're surrounded by evil, and we need to be aware and be concerned and be prepared.
Yeah, I've talked about that in my multiverse theory. That what we call demons and angels are actually entities from the multiverse that come through portals into our realm, and the alien greys are actually like gatekeepers of the multiverse, and they try and get these demons and send them back to their own universe. So you can imagine a creature coming from another multiverse isn't going to look like us. It's going to look crazy looking. But the same DNA exists in all universes, but there's going to be variations in that DNA. This is some sort of information I was given when I had visits from the tall Nordics. I did an experiment after my alien grey visit where they were injecting me, and I said, if there's any tall whites out there, tall Nordic whites, make yourself known, but do it during the daytime. And a couple of months went by when suddenly one appeared, following my parents into the kitchen, which I thought they knew she was there. And I was staring at her for at least 2 minutes, and wondering why the parents weren't talking to her, because the parents sell honey because they got beehives. And I thought she was waiting for them to give her the honey. And I rubbed my eye for just a second, and then she wasn't there. And I said to the parents, "What happened to the lady in the white dress?" She had a pink, a shocking pink blouse thing underneath, and a nice white suit on over top of it. And she was solid and everything like that. And she was in her 40s, I think, and she had short hair, but she was very tall. She was like 6 foot something, and she disappeared. And they said, "Oh, you're just having a mind hallucination or something." And I said, "No, I'm not," because I was fully awake. It was like I think it was about 11 in the morning, and I was having a cup of tea. So another couple of weeks passed by, and suddenly there's another one that appears in the same location in the doorway, and this kept going on for a couple more weeks, and then another one showed up, and he was like 7 foot tall, like a Bigfoot. He couldn't fit under the door. He had to bend over. And then someone come around the corner, and then suddenly he disappeared. And I thought, well, this is some crazy hallucination during the daytime, and that was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. After that, I decided to get cameras. So I had cameras everywhere, even in my bedroom. And then the final one I got was about 5 o'clock in the morning, when the sun was just coming through the curtains. And I had 2 cameras set up in the bedroom. One was infrared, and the other one set on regular color night vision. It was low light Sony sensor on it. So even though it was dark-ish, the camera could see the lowest possible light in the room. So this, I woke up to see this tall white young girl just standing next to the bed, looking at me, and it freaked the hell out of me because I thought we had an intruder, and I went, "Punch, punch, go away," and she started fading, and then I thought, "Oh, I'll check the cameras to see if we managed to capture that." The first camera, which was infrared, the memory card was all corrupted, so there was nothing captured. Okay. And the color night vision one, although I pulled up some footage from it, I couldn't see her in the footage. So I thought I'd grab some frames from the video and do some video processing, but I didn't do it right away. And I thought, oh, this video is rubbish because there's nothing in it. But when I run it through processing, this girl pops out on the side of the bed where I saw her, and So yeah, I've also had stuff that you call the demons that look like demons show up, and I think I've got some pictures here that I can show you since you're talking about demons, and then you can sort of add to it if you want. Alright, I didn't open up my folder for it. Hang on.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about my early beginnings, and one thing I wanted to share with your listeners is that I'm a veteran. I served during the Vietnam conflict, and I was a radarman aboard a ship called the USS Constellation. It was an aircraft carrier, and as a radarman, I saw flying saucers. They were UFOs, and we would put them in the logbook and define them as UFOs with the range and bearing. But the thing I'm going to tell you, Paul, is that they were faster and more maneuverable than any guided missile that we had or the Soviets had at the time. So, this is pretty significant that we saw these. And then we were told to keep our mouth shut. Don't tell anybody what you saw. But, there were plenty of us who had seen these flying saucers. Okay, so now you're going to show me the dot passing overhead.
We have managed to get from Skywatchers some really good footage of what I call the classic flying saucer. I've sort of been building up my thing to do a documentary on it, but I actually did catch a orb, well, it looked like an orb, moving really past a star that I had zoomed in of the camera. I got that there. So I had the alien greys come, and they were sticking a needle in my back, and I don't know why, and I had this lump appear on my back. I'll just show you that. Well, I don't want to make it about me, but we'll just have a quick look at some stuff. So I had this strange lump appear on my back, and it started leaking all this smelly fluid for 2 months. And you can see it looks like it's got some sort of bunch of holes.
Yeah, it does.
There. Yeah. And I think there might be one in the middle here. And that was really, really tender for 2 months. Then it just went away. And it's quite big. Wow. It's like 2 inches, diameter here. So I had some physical evidence of their visit and where they were sticking the needle, but I didn't have any cameras at the time. So yeah, I'm trying to put together a new documentary that ties it all together nicely in timeline. So this is a timeline of events. Sound, then orb, empty room, fast moving orb, light. Looks like alien grey. So this is another interesting one here. There was a sort of like a knock sound, and then this flash of light happened. Was it the one that had sound? And it kind of looks like an alien grey head. And this thing was moving. Yeah, look at that. It was moving through the frame. And we know we see faces in pareidolia, but why does it have to look like an alien grey? Why couldn't it look like a horse or a fish? So that's always had me a bit worried. If it was a hallucination, then why is it on camera? And of course,
and with that pareidolia, we see things, right? We see things, or we conjure things, or we.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, I don't know. You're the psychologist. So a lot of people say that we're hallucinating all the time, but how does it appear that we see alien greys on camera? I've still got some more interesting stuff here. Bright blog, fast moving, goat grey. This was a demon wind. So it was like 2 and 3 in the morning. Things always seem to happen at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I think you're right.
3:30, and of course I'm sleeping here, and I've analysed this video a wee bit more, and there's actually something transparently moving at the back of my bed here, but you can't see it unless you run it through some serious filters. So I'm trying to work on that and put it into a new documentary. but it touches my feet anyway. You can't, and then I react to it, and I start punching, which is not sleep paralysis, by the way, because you can't do that if you got sleep. You can't do that if you got sleep paralysis, right? It was touching my feet.
Something was going on there.
Yeah, it was touching my feet, but I did analyze some frames from it where we could see things moving with the screen background here. And if you run it through some filters, they pop out a wee bit better. So I got this one here. It looks like an alien grey. It was like a orb that was moving through the frame, and run it through some filters. It kind of looks like a face again, you know, in the blob. You can see it's not a perfectly round blob because dust tends to be like flickery, and it seems to be more perfect circles. This wasn't a perfect circle. It was actually forming a full body apparition, and I'm not sure how much I've got here. Let's see. And it eventually forms into this full body apparition, but actually turns into what I call a strange looking goat man. You know, so this thing was moving up, and then the body was forming here, and then this thing actually moves across the bottom of the bed. It fades even more, and I run it through some more filters on the video, and I can see it moving across the base of the bed just before it touched me. So
wow. Yeah.
That proved to me there was something going on, but it's not really going to change the skeptic's mind. I'll just say it's pareidolia, right?
Well, you know, the best example of that, I think, was the face on Mars. It really looked like one, and I mean, everybody saw the same thing. Or I'll tell you what, another one was the devil when you saw the shots of 9/11. In New York City after the terrorist attack. I mean, people saw the face of the devil there in the smoke, and again, a lot of people saw that, and whether that was a case of pareidolia, or if it was a case of mass hallucinations, or a case of something that was really paranormal, you know, we don't know. But we, you know, as in the case like these. Cases like these, you know, they're anomalous, and from everything I've researched, about 3% of the things that we see we can't explain, and they fall into that paranormal realm. You know, 3%. So we don't know exactly what they are, and even cases of pareidolia are there too. You know, I mean, it could be something real and something of substance, and then again, it could be just some sort of a psychosis or delusion. So
okay, you know, so this is these are the frames I converted from the video, which was low light, which I don't think we captured the apparition next to my bed. But as you can see, I run it through some color swap filters, and you can see that it looks like outline of a girl in a dress here with long blonde hair. You can't quite see her face because it's low light. And her hand's going down here, a hand there. So I draw around it so if people can't see it, you know. So, and that's exactly what I saw, was a fairly tall blonde girl next to my bed. I was very surprised that I could run filters through it and actually get the apparition. That's what it was like on the camera. You can see. So you
have some pretty good. Some pretty good technology there at your place, correct?
I've got color night vision cameras that work on low light, so they work on starlight. And as you can see here, this is what it was picking up, and it was picking up the LED on the TV screen in the bedroom, but you can't see much else. And they probably didn't think about taking that camera out. They took out the other camera before they showed up. But I did take this one out thinking that I couldn't actually pull anything off this image. Then I touched the touch lamp. So I took a few frames from the time I touched the side bed lamp. By then she had faded. And if you look carefully there, it still looks like maybe she was just fading out there. seems like a sort of like a white blob dispersing there, if you look very carefully.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't look like a gill now, does it? But when you add all the frames together and put it through filters, it gradually builds up a profile. And to me, that proved to me that I wasn't losing my mind, and I actually did see something standing there. Right. And it might not prove to a skeptic, you know, because I had to process that video and wasn't actually exactly on the video. And then recently, I got this after the alien grave visit back in. I thought it was 2020, but it looks like it's actually 2022. It's been fairly recent when they showed up. I got this autoimmune problem. And recently I had this strange rash pop up, which I talked about in a previous live, right? I'll just quickly show you it. And they also had some sort of strange triangle pattern on my leg, which looks like equilateral triangle. So I was scratching these because they had these like strange little lumpy pimples come up that were extremely itchy, and it lasted for like weeks. But then again, I got these ones on the arm. You can I've got it lighter, a better one. Here's a better one. I got these pimples on the arm, exactly the same. And they had these little hard lumps in it, and I dug out the lumps, and they're like these calcium spheres. Like I didn't think about putting them under a microscope. I just simply washed them away, but I couldn't help but see this is actually a star pattern. This is the Southern Cross with the 2 pointers, and there's actually 3 stars in a line here, which matches the star map. And I thought, that's really, really strange. And I said, was it me trying to remember from a dream state? Why would I get pimples with hard bits in it? And once I dug out the hard bits, the itching went away. And I just wondered if it was some sort of implants.
Well, stress can bring on things like shingles and hives. So possibly it was stress related. I mean, who knows? But that happens
exactly.
all the time. I mean,
I know. That's how it gets written off.
Correct. Yeah. So, but you look at all of the possibilities, and to see what it might be, and then if you can't come up with a logical explanation, then you look at some of the things that are maybe more improbable. But so what do you think that was? What do you think? Well,
on the arm, I thought initially it was just some crazy, what do you call it, thyroid rash. But when you look at thyroid rashes, they start off with little red pimples that sort of get itchy and then go away. Well, they go away with treatment normally. But my LSH thyroid levels are relatively high. But I'm doing a diet now, so they might have been coming down. It might be coming down naturally with the diets instead of taking drugs to control it. And
or maybe do something about homeopathic nature.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all this evidence together into a new documentary and let people decide if I'm experiencing something or hallucinations. But as you can see, I've even got a picture of an apparition forming down the hallway that turns on all the sensor lights. It walks down the hallway and turns on all the lights because we got heat detection built into the light bulb. So anything that detects that's moving down the hallway, it turns on the lights so you don't fall over or whatever at the night time. So here's a clip, an interesting one we got from a sky watcher who refuses to make the video public. It's the best evidence I've ever come across with the classic flying disc, and I just want it's very similar to what you were saying you saw in Vietnam. Why is it not coming up? So these are some of the frames pulled from the video of this craft that he filmed above UK, and it was heading into a headwind, and it seemed to be giving off some sort of mist stuff at the front that was going behind. So the wind was blowing this.
Can you make that smaller?
Can't make it any smaller. And here's another frame where it's actually tilted slightly. And you can see it's a classic flying disc with a flat top hat. And I enhanced it through my experience here to bring out details. So this is that side one. You can see it looks like a classic flying saucer. It has a slight lip up to like a dome in the middle, but it's actually got a flat top, just like the side view here shows. It's actually got a flat top. It's got a little door hatch here, or a ventilation hatch here, that's letting off steam or something inside. Maybe it had a fire going and opened up the door. And then we see on the video of this thing hypersonically zooming off into the distance. I don't believe it's a hoax. The guy was walking outside his house talking to a lady outside, and he says, hang on, I see something in the sky, and gets out his phone, starts filming it and zooming up. He had one of these latest iPhones, not iPhones, Samsung I think it was, that had 3 times optical zoom or something. So he zoomed in Maxim and it was recorded in 4K. So this is why we've got a fairly HD video here, better than anything that's released publicly. MUFON has seen it, or Earl Grey has, but they weren't allowed to make it public because the guy's a skeptic and it breaks his worldview on aliens coming here to visit, which is a damn shame because it's better than anything that the Navy has released. But I believe they got similar footage or better footage than this, and just keeping it under wraps myself.
Well, the one that wasn't under wraps was the 2004 San Diego flying saucer video, and Navy pilots were able to go and see this and take videos of it. But it was 2004, and they called it the Tic-Tac video. It was shaped like that little candy, the Tic-Tac. But what happened was it hovered, and it seemed to have a tremendous G-force. I mean, the way it was going back and forth, that researchers felt that no human would be able to withstand that tremendous G-force. But at the time, the Pentagon had changed the nomenclature. It was they were calling UFOs UAPS, unidentified aerial phenomenon. But with this thing from 2004, the Navy video off the coast of San Diego, what happened was it hovered, it zigzagged, and then it went underwater. So the Pentagon, once again, changed the names, the nomenclature, the terminology, and changed it from unidentified aerial phenomenon to unidentified anomalous phenomenon.
So it couldn't be searched.
It's been a task. It's been a real challenge to stay up with all these various government organizations. And we're not talking about the FBI or the CIA. We're talking about some dark ops groups that are there in the Department of Defense that we don't even know who they are. All we know is that they're getting a lot of dark money. And, I was at a conference not too long ago. The gentleman next to me worked for the government. He was from San Francisco. He worked for the government in remote viewing. And he wouldn't tell me anything beyond that. I really wanted to pick his brain and find out what he did. But I would imagine the same thing happening in the UK and probably in Australia and New Zealand. But in the United States, the government experiments with remote viewing and mind control and time travel and LSD, the CIA's MK Ultra. I mean, we do it all, and we do it to get a military edge. We all do it under the guise of power and control. So that's what all this is. But all these things that we talk about that we've been hearing about for centuries, are being, the government has a certain agency that is tasked to review that and find out if there's any military application. And, we all know about Montauk on Long Island, and, that seems to be a thing of mythology. But just take Montauk and place it into a government, enclave, a government military base, and it all makes sense. I mean, but they're just not sharing the information with us.
Yeah, the reason they changed the name is so it can't be found in FOIAs. So if someone says find anything with UFO in it, it's not going to be found. But they could have other names for it. They might call it some strange name like teddy bear or something, you know, something that no one would ever think about searching. They might just call aliens teddy bears, and they might call UFOs. Let's see. What would be a good name for a UFO that would be no one would think of? You know, a source. No source.
I need to reach out to your friend, your MUFON friend from California. I've done some programs for MUFON in Virginia, in Maryland, and just this past Saturday for MUFON in Washington, D.C. So we've been talking specifically about the Flying Saucer Esoteric, which is my UFO book. It's sort of like the encyclopedia of flying saucers, and from the days before Christ to the congressional hearings of 2023. And here in the States, you know, the government is talking about disclosure, they're talking about transparency. And one thing that we had that's important for us and for you, New Zealand ufologists, you know, to note is that the government, the United States government, had special congressional hearings in 2023. And one of the speakers there was David Grush, former military intelligence. And Grush says that he knows where the bodies are, you know, the humanoids, and he knows where the crashed vehicles are. So that was in 2023. In 2024, they did the same thing, and they had Luis Elizondo, who was, again, former military intelligence, and Luis said that he knows that the government knows something. The government knows where these vehicles and crashed saucers. You do know he's been called out. You do know he's been called out lying. Okay, so do you think? Okay, well,
Lou's been called out big time lying. Yeah. I don't know if you follow Green Streak, but he's got a few good documentaries on it, showing the interviews he's done. Which proves that he wasn't the head of any organization to do with the Pentagon and UFOs at all. So you should go and check out Green Streak's documentaries there on what is it, New York Times or whatever he's with, New York Post. I can't remember now, but
yeah, I think it might have been the Times. Yeah, okay.
You got to be careful of disinformation agents. You got to remember this guy, Lue Zondo, made a statement once saying he's not a ufologist. He never wants to be a ufologist. And he got into the program as a intelligence agent or whatever. He actually made it. Intelligence? Yeah. So, again, that makes him very suspect. And, of course, he's been sharing fake videos at these conferences of reflections of chandeliers and windows trying to con people. But anyway, back to this UFO here, and these are the few frames of the UFO just before it zooms off and disappears. It kind of from a distance looks like a tic-tac there. Next frame you can see it's moving around a wee bit, but it's heading into the wind, and you can see it's gradually getting smaller and suddenly it just disappears. And that's on the video, and the guide then brings down the phone. You see it head towards the street again, and then turns off the app. But yeah, it's a bit shame that he won't share the full video. We got some other interesting footage years ago from another sky watcher who actually was seeing lights in the woods.
I apologize to your audience that I don't have any videos to share.
Yeah, that's what people come to mind, because I have and analysed other people's. Now, this video, I got some frames from it. He's actually filming lights in the forest, but every time he gets close, the lights go out and the UFOs take off. That's what he's saying. But from a distance, you can actually see what looks like creatures walking back and forth, and what may be a landed UFO, but it's really hard because it's low quality cameras back there. It's about 20 years old camera, handy cam low light, but I ran it through a lot of processing and pulled out some images of stuff that he didn't see at the time, and it's an alien grey, a cockpit. Hang on, where's it going? Where's it going over there? Why is it not opening up properly? Oh, right, it's an emanated gift. Try that one. So this is what I managed to get off his camera. You got to remember, we're dealing with 40 pixels by 40 pixels here, and it looks to me like either someone in a latex mask with big black eyes and little ears and a big head, and someone in a black suit that's not reflecting much light at all. It's like absorbing all the light, and it's moving its hands around on the video on a control panel, and it's looking outside the window. Obviously, enhance it a wee bit more to bring out the brightness here. And you can see the lights of the craft are actually reflected off the side of the face. You can see it's a three-dimensional creature in the UFO. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. We might be seeing our first alien grey on video. So I did some more processing and realised that the image may have been slightly bent this way, because he was moving the camera. He wasn't actually focused on this creature because he didn't see it. So he was moving the camera, and it was an interlaced camera, so it stretches the image a wee bit. So I reanalyzed it and deformed the stretching, and you can see it still looks much the same, give or take a few errors, and you can see it's got a really bumpy sort of skull. Looks like an ear. It's still got the black eyes, you know. Looks very much like abductees talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
the huge eyes.
Here's another one. It's probably distorted, stretched a wee bit that direction this time, but you can see how dark it was on the original video here. And it had a red light and a big spotlight above it on the cockpit window, illuminating the outside. And you can see it's illuminated in the object in the cockpit too. And I just run it through some filters to bring out details. Not the best of images, that one, but... And then I added all the pictures of the lights. All you could see was lights flickering, and... You can see the alien grey in the cockpit here. It's very hard to see. But there's the alien grey that we pulled from the image. And it had all these strange lights, and it had a strobing red light that would go down and long and down. People said, oh, that's this ambulance. Someone pulling a prank on him, sitting in the ambulance. And I said, well, that have to be a fairly big ambulance, because it looks like the window goes right along here. And... I couldn't quite see, but it looked like there was another creature walking back and forth here inside the craft as well. And they got these big spotlight that illuminated in the water. It was hovering above water and sucking up water. But you can see it's got the classic shape of a flying saucer again. Lights at the very top, and looks like it goes down and around. And I thought, well, you know, I don't think the guy's hoaxing it, because I analysed the video here, and you can see he's actually got some fern that the UFO flies behind.
Well, look at that, yeah. Okay.
There's no way this video was faked, you know, it was not CGI or anything like that. How he did it, I don't know, but people think he hoaxed it. The guy was like 58 years old, and he said it's a swampland, you couldn't walk across it without sinking up to your waist. So he didn't walk towards the lake after looking for footprints or anything like that. And there's my reputation of maybe where the shape of the craft was, you know, something like that.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
That's just my reputation of it, looking at the light formations. But there was another one which I haven't actually got here, snapshots of, I don't think. He actually filmed a Mantis Grey. Oh, here we are. We have got it here. We noticed that there were some strange reflections of heads in the long tall grass that were coming towards him. And that's the best image I could pull off here. And it looked like it had a black overall on, and it has a really strange shaped head. And when I looked at that, I thought, it doesn't look like a typical alien grey, this one. It looks like it's got big eyes on the sides, which matches what people call the mantis. And it kind of looks like a black lens here, and the eye going around here. But again, it's only pareidolia, subjective. And I thought, well, let's just keep looking at other images to see if it changes. And it stayed pretty constant, right? It looked like the eyeball sockets there, but again, it was pretty low lights, and it's a bit hard to be sure about anything. But it does look like a mantis here head again.
Yeah, look at that.
Now you can see, looks like round eyes with the pupils. But again, people just say, oh, it's this pareidolia. But they weren't there until he turned on the torchlight. He turned on the torchlight near the end. See if you get any reaction. But he didn't realise he might have aliens heading towards him to abduct him. Right. So he captured that in 2011. And I offered this in my analysis and the footage free to James Fox, and he wasn't interested. And I thought, what an idiot. And he should have taken it on, because he was trying to do that movie at the time. Oh, hang on. I open up on the full screen. It goes to the other window. Yeah, so I got the full video on there. I gave you a link to it, my breakdown of it. It took a week of analyzing and a week to edit it into a little 40-minute episode, and you can watch it on my channel. I make everything free, you know, all the good stuff is free. If I was a shill, I'd be selling that, you know, I'd be making it into
absolutely
core bow type movie, right? All the best evidence I've got. Well, that's it. So I just wondered if it's anything that you had managed to capture that maybe something you can add to it, maybe. Add it to the movie, you know, but maybe you've only just got eyewitness accounts. I can understand. You get the what they call the OS factor, where you sort of concentrate on the thing, but don't think about getting out your phone and videoing it. And that happened to Il Gray. He was going down the highway in California recently, and he said he saw this big mothership hovering above this house or something, and that he reckons they purposely showed themselves to him because he's an investigator. And he didn't even think about getting out his phone and start videoing it. Being a MUFON chief investigator, he never thought about videotaping it. So he stops the car, gets out his phone and looks around, and it's gone. And he thought, what's wrong with me? I stop the car, look around, and it's gone. So it's almost like they know you're going to try and capture them on hard evidence. But I found out that one day I had the apparition show, and this was half-form apparition. It was a so stunningly beautiful girl I've ever seen. She was tall. I believe she was a Nordic white. She was part of the experiment I did, asking people to show themselves. And she showed up coming down the hallway. I didn't have any cameras at the time, which is a damn shame. And she's drifted over to the kitchen table and looked out the window where the dog was moaning to come in. She was looking at the dog. I was watching this for a good minute and a half, right? I don't think hallucinations last that long. Generally, do they? I don't know. It seemed like a real thing, and I realised, half her body's missing. And I thought, is this another tall Nordic white, or was it a ghost apparition? And then my father come into the room, and he started opening up curtains, and I thought, well, that's going to scare her off. And he hasn't even seen her yet. He hasn't looked around. And then he walks straight through her, and I thought, well, that's really strange. I'm seeing this apparition, but my dad's not. And he just walked right through it. Like, she wasn't there. I said, "You just walked through a hot blonde girl." He said, "I'd be so lucky." And she turned around and she drifted out back to where she come, and then as soon as she got to the doorway, she vanished. And I thought, wow, I wish I could record that in my head, what I saw, and for everybody to see, because it was just so amazing. And it was at like 11:30 in the morning, and I was sitting in the same chair drinking my cup of tea. And to me, I thought, well, maybe that means they can control who sees them and who doesn't see them. Maybe they got a way of...
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think certain people have an ability to see things, and I don't know if they control it or if we have that ability. Some of us have that ability, but I think it's a gift. It's a special gift, and that needs to be respected. And it's sacrosanct. It's it's almost a sacred thing to be able to have that ability to see the things that nobody else can. So whether it's the orbs, the discs, the cryptos, whatever it is, the apparitions, it doesn't matter. But most people, Paul, when they come up to me and seek my advice or what they perceive to be my wisdom, which is almost kind of funny, but they come up to me. Most people come up to me and tell me about seeing orbs or being followed by orbs, or they tell me about talking to dead people. So it's the orbs and the dead people that seem to be resonating more than anything else.
Yeah, I get a few orbs, but I think most of them are dust. But I have got some here which are very interesting. It looks like it comes through the curtains. It comes through the window and curtains. Let's see if I can play it. Is that the one? I'm not sure.
Well, that's the one you just showed in your bedroom with the thing that you were.
No, I got another one here. White apparition. Turns on the sensor light. So that was a strange one. Black. Camera blacks out. That's another strange error I got on the camera. The camera actually goes total black, but because I had the camera on the other side of the room, we could actually see the IR light just break through the blackness. So it was a really strange camera artifact which I've never ever seen, and it only happened when I was starting to get these strange apparitions in the bedroom. And it hasn't happened since. Kitchen fast orb comes through curtain. Okay, here's the one. Here, have a look at this one. This one's very interesting. See if you think it's dust or bug, because there was no window open. And forgive the snoring. Here it comes. See this thing here? Yeah. Only happens very quickly. See that there? Yeah. See how bright it is? And I'll get these. Yeah, and you can see there's no dust, no other dust in the room. See that? It's absolutely perfectly clear. It's $30 camera, but it's one of the clearest HD images I get is on that camera. And unfortunately, it only records to an SD card. But yeah, this bright light just starts there. These curtains are like blackout curtains. They're really heavy. There it goes. There it just comes through the curtain, heads this way. Have you ever seen dust move like that? Because I haven't seen dust move like that. Dust normally flickers. I certainly haven't. No. Yeah. So
not in Florida, not in Pennsylvania.
So that was 2023 I captured that one. But it's probably a lot more on the camera I don't capture because I don't look at the footage every day because I ain't got time to go through it like ghost hunters. I thought you might like that one because it's very, very bright. And
well, orbs are just so, popular. And, there seems to be a connection with orbs and Bigfoot creatures. And, there's a lot of documented sightings about that, especially in western Pennsylvania, in an area called Chestnut Ridge, where there seems to be the most UFO and Bigfoot sightings combined. So it's just sort of tells me that there. And yes, I talk about the Bigfoot UFO connection in the Lost Tribes of Bigfoot. That's. I think that there's a paranormal aspect to these Bigfoot sightings.
Yes, so do I.
Only because you see the Bigfoot with the saucers, the orbs, etc. So there's just too many things that are.
Have you been watching Expedition Bigfoot? The last 3 seasons have been capturing Bigfoot and paranormal orbs on cameras, and they're using the highest technology. Today's season, which I've yet to review, they've set up these special trail cams that now use LiDAR. So they can actually, it sends out these invisible laser beams, and it can map 3D things walking through the frame that's not visible by optics. And they captured this Bigfoot that's been harassing their camp and destroying things in the camp. So they decided to set up this camera trap. And they see this, what they call a young individual Bigfoot, walk through the frame, and then it realizes something a bit strange off there, and it gradually heads back out. So they gradually jump out their tents after seeing it and start tracking it down. And the series is on that part of it. So what they've got several people tramping around in different parts and being covert to try and capture these Bigfoots. But they've come across these Bigfoot nests and all sorts of DNA evidence and Bigfoot prints that are really the best I've ever seen. If they're faking it, they're doing a really damn good job of it. But I don't think that they got that monkey gorilla specialist female that lived with the gorillas, sort of thing. Not the first one, but another lady that stepped in to replace the other lady that was doing it. What was her name? I can't remember. Maria or something.
My publisher for the Lost Tribes of Bigfoot is Hangar One. They did Monster Quest, so they're pretty much into the cryptids and UFOs, and just a great company. I take it you have access to Amazon, correct, down there in New Zealand?
Yeah, I got a link to your Amazon page here.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, yeah. Okay, so there's eclectic background.
It lists all your books here. Lost Tribes of Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot, Co-Region Hoodoo, that's a great one. Sheppton got it all started. Yeah, Flying Saucer Esoteric. Somebody Else's Dream is my rock and roll.
I think that's it. Oh no, just one more. Generation.
The Death Proclamation Generation. That was used in several colleges as a recommended reading. Yeah, so that now most podcasters ask me about my eclectic array of books. They throw that word around a lot, and you haven't done that yet. But
no.
But take a look at that: Bigfoot, Co-Region Hoodoo, Sheppton, Flying Saucers. I mean, what do you think of that? Those works. I mean, collectively.
I think you're very much like myself, because I think there's a connection between UFOs and paranormal myself, and I think Bigfoot's there as well. Bigfoot's are said to maybe be alien visitors that may be, some people use dimensions, which I think is wrong, but they're actually multiverse creatures that can sort of open up a portal, come through their parallel Earth into ours and do hunting and then go back again. That's what I believe. On this expedition Bigfoot, they actually capture these orbs flying around the forest. So they gradually heading towards it to get better close-up footage of this. And then they see what looks like a Bigfoot running away from the lights on one of the static locked-off cameras. Unfortunately, it's too far away and not zoomed in enough to be able to get details, but you can clearly looks like a big humanoid creature. And then the lights suddenly disappear. So they reckon the lights were somehow generating a doorway, or a portal, as you want to call it, where the Bigfoots can come in and go out, because they're very hard to capture on camera because of that they're able to cloak. And they've actually caught
Right.
one that they can hear splashing and stuff happening, and they see a thing in night vision walking down the stream, and suddenly it disappears. And they believe it's the Bigfoot have some sort of...
interrupt or interject. Let me just
Yeah.
interject, if I may. When you talk about Bigfoot's being able to cloak, tell me your definition of that, of cloaking. What does that mean to you?
I think they might have some sort of like a rain overall that they wear over top of their maybe fur or whatever that can actually make them invisible to infrared and optical light whenever they want to. Now, we've heard stories of Indians saying they had Bigfoots with a scruffy fur coming to them that's got all twigs and leaves stuck into it, and it's like 10 feet away from it, and suddenly it disappears in front of them. Whether that's paranormal, I don't know, but it could have been cloaking. He said he believed it cloaked, that his fur has some sort of cloaking capability.
A lot of people believe that Bigfoot has paranormal abilities, that they can shape shift either through portals and other dimensions, or maybe through an interdimension. Who knows? But they.
Yeah, I think dimensions is wrong though.
Okay, yeah, you had mentioned.
I think it's multiversal. Multiversal. Yeah.
Okay. They talk about Bigfoot being able to have bilocation or rapid transport, where you could see them in front of you, then they're behind you. So just a lot of strange aspects. They say that Bigfoot is able to turn on and off the smell.
I've seen the same thing with the Nordic whites in my house. They just only show up and then they blink out. So I know when someone says they saw a Bigfoot that showed up and blinked out, I'm not going to laugh at that because I've had it happen to me. So whether it's their technology, whether they suddenly fade back into their own multiverse, maybe they can only stay so long before they sort of snap back out, but like an out-of-body experience where your soul, whatever, can drift out your body, and then it's sort of connected by a tether, and eventually it can snap back into your body. I've actually had it out of body myself when I was about 13, and it's the most strange experience I've ever had. But I didn't see any tunnels of light or anything like that. What it basically was, I was drifting up out of my body, heading towards the ceiling, and I felt the ceiling, and I was like really, my nose and my cheek were all smashed into the ceiling. I thought, what the hell's going on? And I could see we had this stripy wallpaper on the ceiling, and I could see the lines and the pattern of the paper on the ceiling back in the 70s and early 80s, and I felt the ceiling with my hand, and I managed to flip around, and then I saw myself in bed next to Mum, because she was scared that night. Dad was away, and she wanted someone to sleep in the bed upstairs with her because it was a stormy, horrible night. And I thought, I saw her there laying next to the bed, and suddenly I was sort of gasping. Next minute I remember gasping, and I was back in my body looking back at the ceiling, and I didn't know what to make of it. Back then we didn't have any TV shows on that sort of stuff. We had no books in the library about paranormal or out of body. I didn't know what happens, but I knew I didn't want to go back to sleep and have it happen again because it was really scary. Yeah. I don't know if you've had it out of body or not. You were in Vietnam in a war zone, so I'm not sure if you had any strange experiences like that.
Not like that, only with seeing the flying saucers. And in my introduction to Flying Saucer Esoteric, I talk about seeing those saucers and talk about us documenting that and us being told to keep our mouths shut. So
I couldn't get any other vets. I had a friend that was an ex-vet in New Mexico, and he said he had a group of 30 guys that he associates with still, and they're all interested in watching my UFO channel, but none of them would want to come forward and tell their experiences of seeing the UFOs for some reason. I said, why not? And they were very suspicious of the government. They said, well, I don't even have an email address. I don't have credit cards and anything like that. This guy was absolutely paranoid. and he was worried that the government were listening in. And I thought, well, it's really strange. Something happened to these guys, and they're too scared to come forward and talk about it.
Yeah. I'm not. I mean, I saw him. Anyway, did that.
Have you had Men in Black show up?
I would like to maybe come back at another time and discuss some of the research in my books, especially with Coleridge Hoodoo and the Lost Tribes of Bigfoot. So if that's something that you and your listeners would like,
well, you can do that now if you want to, but I know you're feeling a wee bit under weather today, unfortunately. But
no, I'm going to have to go and pull the plug on this. I'm going to have to go and just say goodbye. But I appreciate chatting with you, and I hope that your listeners found some of this of interest. And like I said, maybe we could come back again another time, and I could talk about some of the research that that I've discovered, with some of my books. So anyway, I appreciate your hard work and all your wonderful technology, and the videos. It's just an incredible library of paranormal things that you have. So that's just, I think it's.
So I'm a good person to stay in touch with if you want to get credibility and actually see real stuff opposed to fakery.
Yeah, very good. Okay.
Let me
say good night then to your listeners, and thank you so much for having me on your program. I hope that they found this of interest, and I'm honored to be here. So again, thank you for your good work and for allowing me to chat with you.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. So we have to break down each of your things here. What you know about Bigfoots and what you interviewed there, and also about the coal miners' experience. I think I read there on the post there about seeing shadow creatures in the mines, which is very common.
Well, intriguing narrative. I don't think there's anything that can beat Sheppton as far as the bizarre, the grotesque, the miraculous. So it's good. Okay, Paul, good night. You take care, and good health and continued success to you. Okay, my friend?
Okay, mate. We'll book you in again when you want to. Just get in touch with me again. Okay. So you can drop off anytime you want.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so, it's about 8 o'clock at night over there. 7 p.m. we started his time in Florida there. I thought we might be able to get 3 hours out of him. I've given him stuff of mine to look at, but he hasn't looked at it. And I think if he looked at my stuff, he might actually be interested in it, right? Because he can relate it to the stuff he's written about. So I thought I'd put up a few of those things and see what he had to say about it, being a psychologist, because we don't often get a psychologist's view of things, especially one that's thinks everybody's mental, like some other channel that we know about. But we'll just go through some of his web pages here. I think an hour is all we managed to get out of him. Hour 13, probably an hour. Which is common for these type of interviews where they're trying to promote themselves in their books that they write. But it'd be interesting to see if he would have revealed some details that maybe not in the books. But anyway, so let's see. Let's have a look at his website here. Lost Tribes of Bigfoot. So that sounds very similar to one of those episodes I did about the Indians and the Bigfoot connection, where they talked about some of the tribes being raided by Bigfoot and the females being taken. And they reckon they used the females as prisoners in sexual practices to make new babies. So there could be DNA that's very close to ours, because they're not fully Bigfoot anymore. They're actually hybrids. And that's probably why some people say it's like looking back at the human face, but with lots of fur on it. So yeah, if you click on that one there, it goes to Sheppton for some reason, not the Bigfoot tribes one. But yeah, having a read of this Sheppton mythology one. So he hasn't got too much on there, I don't think. Looks like it's a really interesting story that he could go over without people not wanting to buy the book, of course. Hang on, let me just sort out this. If anyone else wants to come on the side chat, I can open it up again to anyone else that wants to pop on. Because I'm buzzing. I don't want to finish up the stream already. As you know, I can go on to 4 or 5 hours, no problem, talking about this stuff. And what was I going to do? Yeah, I was going to fix up the Zoom thing. Let's do that now. Being in the middle of the week, though, there's less people going to be around. And I wanted to do it on President's Day, which is today in America. So there should be more people in USA about, you'd think. Okay, that's working now. Okay. So, let's go back to that. I might just get the reader on it here. Let's give it a test run. Instead of me trying to see it with my bad eyes. I'll just go there. Read out what he's got as a wee bit of information on the book. See what it says.
The Sheppton mythology. Sheppton has been described as a continuous, collective hallucination, an out-of-body experience, a miracle by Pope John XXII, and proof of life after death. Fate magazine pronounced Sheppton as unmatched in the annals of psychic research. The Associated Press called Sheppton one of the most significant news stories of the year. The Sheppton mythology remains Pennsylvania's forbidden urban legend and the coal region's final mystery. In 1963, 3 miners were entombed more than 300 feet underground near remote Sheppton, Pennsylvania. Although 2 were eventually rescued, the others simply disappeared. Something fantastic happened in that soulless place devoid of forgiveness and light. It was a black hell, a total darkness where the ability to see depth or movement was eradicated. Vision was painfully ripped away by powerful forces, and yet, even without the gift of sight, the trapped men were somehow able to see. While confined, the miners saw bizarre humanoid creatures and stairwells leading to a golden city. They claimed to have been in the presence of His Holiness Pope John XXII. Scholars, scientists, and Vatican academics all reached the same conclusion: the survivors were telling the truth about their ordeal. Some researchers have suggested that Sheppton is entwined with the controversial Hollow Earth theory, while others claim it provides proof of life after death. Timothy, recorded by the Buoys, eerily paralleled Sheppton as it introduced allegations of cannibalism. Steeped in the miraculous, the supernatural, and the dreadful, Sheppton has become greater than the sum of its parts. An interview with rock journalist Max Furek about...
I don't know about you, but the religious part, yeah, it doesn't sort of gel with me, you know. If you are a religious person, then you're going to be pre-defined to see religious symbols, right? Especially if you're locked in a dark space and you lose your perception of the eyesight, and you sort of go a wee bit crazy. Especially if you know that you're not going to get out of there. If the low oxygen levels go too low, and also they have those toxic gases as well. So there's a lot of things there. I'm not sure how he can say that it's 100% been verified that the Pope showed up to them. But whereabouts is this? This is Mothman territory, isn't it? Where you get a lot of caves underground as well. I'm just trying to copy that stupid thing, but it won't let me do it. Let's just bring that up on the map and let's have a look at it. Yeah, I don't think Max realised what sort of channel I am. We will do the hard questions. You know, I didn't have a chance. I was trying to have his say. But it's a bit hard for me to keep my mouth closed sometimes and accept some of the things that were being said. But yeah, I don't want to offend anyone. So let's just open up maps, see what it is. So you can see, looks very much what this type of area that they have. Lots of trees, mountains around the outside, is it? Looks very similar to what you see on Exhibition Bigfoot, right? I actually got a video. So there you go. So where would the mine be then? Is the whole thing a mining town, is it? It looks like a mine shaft there, is it? Going underground there. I see it's got a Catholic church here. So they're predisposed for religion, right? Sheppton. Alright, let's just take it out further. In the middle of the United States almost, is it? Yeah, there you go. So you got New York, West Virginia. That's definitely where the Mothman was, wasn't it? And Kentucky's over here. And we know there's a lot of underground tunnels and all that connected through Kentucky into this area here. Yeah, looks like it's got a mountain range there, is it? A small one. So let's just put in underground tunnels. Trapped underground for 2 weeks. That sounds like the same people, is it? The Wandering Woodsman. Seven secret underground tunnels in Pennsylvania. Well, there you go. Exploring underground tunnels and ruins in coal region, right? Mine disaster. Alright, so they carve into the side of the mountain. Well, that's a tunnel. Let's see what images we've got. Oh, what happened there? Yeah, got too many things magnified here. What have we got? So Yeah, Expedition X, new season on at the moment as well. But yeah, the Finding Expedition Bigfoot's been off to a really good start so far. We'll do an update review of it and the best evidence they find. Yeah, I like the new technology they're using. So yeah, you can see these big tunnel or mine entrances they've got here. Obviously, there's the coal. That looks like black coal, doesn't it? It's been flooded out. Steam train tunnel. Is that the one where they see apparitions or ghosts down the tunnel? I think the Expedition X went there, didn't they? And did that one. What the hell's that? Underground railroad tunnel. That one's pretty spooky looking. Overgrown. We ain't got too many images there. Underground tunnels. Let's put in Bigfoot, see what we can find. Makes sense that Bigfoot would be underground and using the tunnels to move around between regions associated with both Bigfoot and coal mine incidents. Let's see what the AI says. Bigfoot sightings occur in Pennsylvania wilds, a rural area that's home to a lot of public land. Some people in the region celebrate Bigfoot, a cryptid that's thought to prefer rugged terrain. There he is. Author Max has written about the Bigfoot in his book called Region Hoodoo. Paranormal Tales from Inside the Pits. We didn't see that book listed on Amazon. Oh, actually, I'm going to post a link to his Amazon page. In the book, Furek explores paranormal themes in Pennsylvania area, including Bigfoot cryptids and Smurl Haunting, whatever that means. What's that mean? The Smurl Haunting refers to claims made by Jack and Janet Smurl of West Sheppton, Pennsylvania, who alleged that a demon inhabited their home. Oh, that sounds interesting. I don't know if we got any pictures or anything. Not like my pictures. How can I get pictures of demon and no one else does? There's a lot of reading on this one too, isn't it? Okay, let's read that one out. It kind of looks interesting, that one. We never know what we'll come across here. I'll just keep his page open there for a wee while. I'll read out some of the other stuff he's got there, I think. Hey, let's see what it says. Where's the read aloud though? Disappeared.
Smurl Haunting. The Smurl Haunting refers to claims made by Jack and Janet Smurl of West Pittston, Pennsylvania, U.S., who alleged that a demon inhabited their home between 1974 and 1989. 2. The Smurls' claims gained wide press attention and were investigated by demonologists who encouraged the family's supernatural beliefs, and clergy, psychologists, and scientific skeptics who offered more parsimonious explanations. The Smurls' version of their story was the subject of a 1986 paperback titled The Haunted and a 1991 made-for-TV movie of the same name released by 20th Century Fox. 3. History. The Smurls moved into a double-block house on Chase Street in West Pittston, Pennsylvania in August 1973. 4. They claimed that the premises were disturbed by a demon that caused loud noises and bad odors, threw their dog into a wall, shook their mattress, pushed one of their daughters down a flight of stairs, and physically and sexually assaulted family members on several occasions. 5. 6. In 1986, the family brought in a pair of demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Oh no.
According to Ed Warren, the demon that inhabited the Smurls' home was very powerful and it shook mirrors and furniture after they tried to persuade it to leave by playing religious music and praying. Warren claimed he felt a drop in temperature and saw a dark mass form in the home, and the demon once left a message on a mirror telling him to get out. After months of investigation, Warren alleged that he had a number of audio tapes containing knocking and rapping caused by the demon. 7. 5. Professor Paul Kurtz of State University of New York at Buffalo and then chairman of the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal said the Warrens weren't objective, independent, or impartial investigators and characterized the Smurls' claims as a hoax, a charade, a ghost story. Kurtz
Is that Amityville horror movie where the guy admits there was no demons there after all and they made it all up and the Warrens couldn't have been talking to any demons? Is that the same place? Are we talking about the same place now? Was it Amityville movie based on? Amityville movie series is based on the book by J. Anderson. Paranormal experience of Lutz. Not the same family, is it? He moved into a house in Amityville, New York, where... Well, New York's a different state, so it can't be the same thing, can it? Sounds very similar, though, doesn't it? But, yeah, the Warrens have been called out several times with nothing happens, which kind of puts them in doubt. And also, it turns out Ed was having sex with a helper, I think. 15-year-old helper. And Lauren, what's her name? Lauren knew about it and didn't care about it, which is kind of strange. But yeah, I did have actually some information on that. Because I noticed that he did actually interview Ed Warren himself, and he didn't know any. I asked him about that, and he said he didn't know anything about the 15-year-old or some of the cases being debunked. So I always put people under a wee bit of tests like that to see how much they really know about their people they're writing books on. But fair enough. I'm not sure when that information came forward. It may have been after he'd written the book, of course. But yeah, there's a Reddit post I've got here. That talks about them. So now when I hear about them investigating stuff, I'm really a bit skeptical, because there was a Netflix documentary called The Conjuring. I think it was called The Conjuring. The devil made me do it. And they interview all the kids and they say that Ed sort of put ideas in the head of the kids of what they were expecting to see when he should have been keeping quiet. So he said, oh, we've interviewed cases like this before, he was saying in front of the whole family in the Netflix documentary, where the kids start talking voices and becoming violent and all that. So what happens next time they see the kids? Because he wasn't like that when they saw them. next time they see the kid, he's talking voices. So on this documentary, they criticize maybe the kid was making stuff up and he was listening to what they were saying. But also down here, people said that about him having an affair with a 15-year-old. Let's see. Which I thought was quite interesting when I was researching Max's stuff. I like to think the Conjuring movies are Lauren and Ed from an alternative Earth. Well, yes, I suppose you could write it off. That's basically what you have to do to enjoy the movies. Think of them as fictional characters. Yeah, I never liked them. Did you know Ed Warren was in a sexual relationship with an underage teenage girl that lived with them, with Lauren's lessons? She made contract with the film company. She made them put in a contract they wouldn't talk about it. The films couldn't show her or her husband engaging in crimes, including sex with minors, child porn, prostitution, or sex assault. Neither the husband nor wife could be depicted as participating in extramarital sexual relationship. Haha, I think the films were better for that, actually. Sometimes I hate learning what I've learnt. I love the fictional idea. So now you know that he was having sex with an underage person. It sort of really does put you off him. As credible demon hunters, if they're actually doing demonic things themselves. So yeah, I was a preteen in the early 80s during the Satanic Panic. I lived in a small California town where the panic was visceral, as in my sisters and I were convinced that anything weird we saw was Satan worship. So yeah, that's the thing, how people can be influenced. Quite easily, young minds can be influenced in ufology as well as paranormal, right? So what else we got down here? Ed was a self-appointed, self-professed demonologist, and Lauren was not a great psychic. Some of the stuff they'd done, they had like a kid on a chair that seemed to be lifting up. So any footage I've seen that they've released, that would prove that maybe demons were lifting up things. But again, you could explain it away because the chair wasn't fully off the ground, and the kid may have been just playing, acting, and thus knocking the chair backwards with his body somehow. I don't know. A lot of people debated in the video. I'm not sure if it's available still, or what the title would be to look it up. In the first place, it was very hard to find it. Unlike me, where you can just go on my website and see any of my evidence, right? These people keep this under wraps so they can make money off it. Let's have a look here. Oh, a bunch of BS. I reckon ghosts are not real. They were unable to hunt something that isn't real. So, you know, there's always going to be people that are going to be skeptics and deniers. Unless you have something happen to you, of course. This is the closest thing I know. Perceptual studies. I don't believe in supernatural shite. So another one that's a skeptic. All paranormal investigators are frauds. So another one that's sort of not keeping the middle ground and certainly being biased in their views. Most have convinced themselves they are not. Well, what have we got? Some evidence, mate. And someone said here, not all of them, just the ones you see on TV. Exactly. Come and see the Out There channel instead. Many are true skeptics that are interested in the phenomenon. And you never see these skeptics join up with the ghost hunting teams, Mick West could join up with any of those ghost hunting teams as a skeptic, and they could use it as like a episode or a week-long investigation where they sleep around and stay around the same location for a while and see if the skeptic actually changes his view by the end of it. There are some places there just full on paranormal, right? Where they hear voices and things move in the room and all that sort of stuff. That would be where Mick West needs to go to be undone as a skeptic, I think. You'd have to come back and say, well, yeah, I've experienced paranormal finally, and it needs to be investigated, rather than sort of blown off to the side, which he currently is doing. All of them are until the paranormal doesn't get proven independently from different sources. There's no reason to think anyone is legit. The real Warrens are Frauds. All of the so-called paranormal investigations of that era were. That still continues today, and the whole industry is one big canary act. Well, I'd like to know how they can be filming and also have tape recorders in the hand and pick it up on the camera as well as the handheld devices and play it back. And you can hear clear words on it. Like, get out! F you! Some of them are really clear, right? So how they rigged that up, I don't know. But that's why they need a skeptic on their team that's always analysing them, following them around. It's like these ghost hunter teams need like a hardcore skeptic to join them and actually give them credibility, They say, well, definitely I was there all the whole time. They weren't faking stuff or modifying stuff. And it happened in real time, and I heard it with my own ears. That would give them really good credibility, right? In fact, I'd like to see Mick West do his own TV show. Call it the West Paranormal or something. West Paranormal Investigates. That would be a good show name, I reckon. And then he sets up his own team using the same things, and maybe even hire a few... We'll have some guests come on that are paranormal investigators like Zach and Nick and who's the other ones? Jason and what's the other guy from Taps? You know who I mean. I haven't watched the doco-drama on Netflix. Well, again, if you guys haven't seen it, I suggest you go and dig it up and have a watch of it. It's quite interesting. Anyone calling themselves a psychic has 100% abused and swindled others with the self-important delusion. Yeah, it's a bit hard when they capture apparition on thermal. That definitely, and also shadow creatures on camera that are diving across doorways that are got light behind them. And they go down there and it's locked off and there's nowhere for it to go. I think that just gives it more proof that there's something more to it all. Someone here hates the Warrens. My mum died in 1968. Our house was in her name. Dad remarried and my stepmother brought the Warrens in because my stepsister, well, high as a kite, claimed something pushed her down the stairs. the Warrens claim that in one of our bedrooms a chair flew up and hit Ed. Of course, they didn't have body cameras. They didn't have any locked off cameras when they're doing interviews. So yes, I just call that really bad investigation. Even if the cameras lose batteries and get corrupted, right? At least that's some evidence that something strange is going on. My stepmother would have stood to inherit nothing. This is a scam. So basically, the dad sold the house in the end, and I guess they didn't get another family home. They probably rented, so they ended up with no money when their father died. So yeah, I can see why they'd be pissed off. They inherited nothing themselves after that nonsense. Documentary. What's this one here? I think the documentary did an interesting job of getting a look behind the scenes of what occurred, or how the family recalls events. I found that quite interesting too. Entertaining for a documentary that was both biased and unbiased. Yeah, so it sort of had both sides in the documentary. Watch my Antiville horror for context on how they effed up the lives of these children. That they never face criminal charges as criminal. So you can see there's a lot of people now that hates them. Not to mention Ed's assistant Judith Penny claims that Ed moved her into the Warrens' house and began an affair with her when she was 15. Oh dear. I think most people agree that they were scammers and frauds. I haven't seen a single person claim otherwise. For me, sadly, it ruins the movies. Yeah. There's one that's true, or based on truth, but it's really heavily modified. It's called The Entity. It's one of my favourite ghost horror ones that I've talked about in the past. Where a university tries to study it. And this one talks about females being raped in her bed and held down. And she reckons she could feel the little hands of the demons holding her down while she was being raped. Entity, 1982. But it's based on some true things. But like I said, a lot of what happened in the movie didn't actually happen in real life, which is a bit of a shame. I can't remember the full ins and outs of the Entity one. Supernatural horror film directed by Sidney Furek and starring Barbara Hershey. Here we go. In Los Angeles, this one. Who is raped and tormented by invisible poltergeists. It was adapted for the screen by Furek, 1978 novel of the same name, which was based on the 1974 case of Doris Biffer, a woman who claimed to have been repeatedly sexually assaulted by an invisible assailant who underwent observational by a doctoral students at the University of California, Los Angeles. So it's a wee bit sounds like this movie or this woman's idea went into what become the Ghostbusters, right? very similar, but they got rid of the rapist. There was a woman that got possessed in it, and had researchers researching it on that. Very similar storyline. Principal photography of the entity took place over a 10-week period in Los Angeles and California in spring of 1980. So despite being completed and planned for a release 1981, the film was unreleased until the fall of 92, when it was acquired by 20th Century Fox. Grossed over 13 million, which is pretty low when you think about it. In addition to its paranormal elements, the film deals with themes of female sexual victimhoods, aggression, and family dynamics of a single parent. It goes on about the plot here. It's quite long. It looks like another readout one. A single mother, Carla Morgan, is violently raped. We already know that, but they return to Carla's home, and following day, Carla is nearly killed when her car mysteriously goes out of control in traffic. I think she loses brakes or something. Urged by Cindy to see a parapsychiatrist, Carla meets with Dr. Schneiderman, sounds very German, and bruises, which Carla shows the doctor. She's got these like finger marks, like bruises, who believes they are self-inflicted despite a location and places impossible for her to reach. Yeah, so it's really, really, really good. It's a well done movie. But the true story of that is less interesting. You probably need to search out the real story of it. I don't know if it has it here. What's that one say there? Filming. And that doesn't say anything about the real story. Upon its release in the United Kingdom, the film was met by protests from women's rights groups who deemed it offensive due to the graphic. It was pretty graphic. Depictions of sexual assaults. And she gets slapped around a bit. In response to the protest against the film, Barbara Hershey publicly responded, telling a reporter, "I resent being put in the position of defending the film. We worked relatively hard not to make it exploitative. Rape is one of the ugliest, if not the ugliest thing that can happen to someone, and murder is murder and sorts." Yeah, probably have to look up the true story of the entity. Yeah, I don't really want to ruin it too much to you. If you've not seen the entity, go and see if you can find it on a streaming site and have a watch of it. I normally play it when I go have a date over for the night, then it's a dark, sort of like a stormy night, and well, it's a hot night, but it's actually sort of breezy night where you get the wind gusts. And I normally open up the window and the wind goes into the room and you get this chill effect. And you play that and watch that movie, and in the movie that sort of happens where the windows bust open. I was sitting on the couch with this date I was having, And we're watching that scene where the windows bust open, and suddenly at the same time a gust of wind comes straight through the window, and with the sliding door I had opened to the balcony, and it scared the crap out of her. So I thought it was hilarious. And she wouldn't go down to her car to go home. And I said, well, she said, you got to walk me to the car at least and check out there's no one in the car. So I had to go down there, show there's no one in the car, and then she drove home. But she said she didn't sleep very well that night. But yeah, it's a great movie for that anyway. A true story of the entity. I don't know if you can find it or not. Oh, we've got the AI kicking in. The entity is based on the true story of Doris Bither, who claimed to have been sexually assaulted by an assailant in 1974. The story was adapted. So when you hear adapted, it means changed a bit to make it a bit more scary and whatnot, believable. The true story. The case is also known as the entity haunting. It took place in Culver City, California in the 70s. Bither was not married at the time and had suffered from possible health issues. Movie adaptation. So even the AI sort of agrees it was based on true facts. So that's why it's one of my better movies, actually. Here's the Reddit post on it saying it's uncomfortable to watch. Oh, you coward. Spoiler alert. God damn, this movie caught me by surprise on a late night. Sleepless journey throughout streaming services. A common complaint I had about supernatural horror movies is that the ghosts aren't doing shit other than moving furniture and walking around the house. So yeah, this movie is just uncomfortable to watch because this poor woman gets raped and unseen. Yeah, you just got to watch it. It's just amazing movie. Still one of my top ones, and the third, Close Encounters of the Third Kind is my top UFO movie, I'd say, and then it's hard picking the second one and the third one, but there's a lot of good movies out there. Fantastic movie that somehow never comes off exploitative. I've watched it probably about 5 times now. I enjoy it every time. So many movies that have rape. The only thing really bad about it is the ending, where they try and get her to sleep into a makeshift house inside a big warehouse, and they set up all these nitrogen sprays to try and capture it. I won't say too much about it. But it does try to get her going inside the warehouse, and they see it on cameras and trying to capture it. So, yeah, go and check it out. I'd say that's probably the worst thing. That actually didn't actually happen in real life. That was one thing that didn't happen. But anyway, go and do your own research on it after you've watched it. It might be best thing. I'll just close down some of these tabs that we got open here. Yeah, so I'll just post his Amazon link here. So I'm going to forget. With my bad eyes, I don't read books anymore, unfortunately. I prefer to have electronic books that you can read online. You're very quiet out there today. Not many people are about. We got 11 watching at least. Rumble was flying along there. Still hit a like button if you're enjoying what we're doing here. I said to Max that we're pretty relaxed people here. it won't be me just asking one question after another. Just go with the flow, talk for as long as you want. So there's no time limit. I didn't expect him to only last an hour. When I told him at the time, I said, can you do from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And now at the beginning of the show, he said he didn't feel very well. So I thought, well, we're not going to get 3 hours today, which is a bit unfortunate, but there you go. But he knows what we're about now. Emerson, we've got to post that around. I think I got the link here somewhere. Max's. I thought he was going to talk a bit more detail about his Vietnam experiences, but unless you got pictures and videos of stuff, and I don't know, what can you really say much about it, you know? Next books, Amazon. I'll post that around. It's actually getting really, really hot in here. How are we going for time anyway? We've got 2 hours already. So whenever I take over, an hour just passes by just so quickly, doesn't it? Anyway, going back to this other one here. And that was it the same one? What was the name of that one? Lux, and the other one is Kirk's, is it? Paul Kurtz. So it kind of looks similar, doesn't it? Lux, with a Z. I don't think it's the same location, different state. Of Lux family. Yeah. I remember watching that as a kid before the entity came along, and I thought that was kind of creepy. And I was talking about the demon that was looking through the window, and it was 2 stories up. None of that actually happened. So now that's just garbage. The entity is the only one that's based on real stuff. None of this other stuff that made much more money. Actually, let's do a comparison. How much money did it make? Money did maybe make. So the other one was 13 million. How much is this one? 100 million. That doesn't even. That just can't even fathom it, could you? Oh no, this remake made 100 million. I didn't know there was a remake. Original one is 86, and it's still pretty close. 86, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, almost like 6 times more money. And that's just the movie. How about the books? Anyway, let's get back to this other one. So, Paul... Oh, actually, what was the family? That's the name of the professor. What was the name of the family again? The Smurl family? Is that the name of it? It must be. Oh, yeah. That was the name of the family. Yeah. So it's not even spelt the same as the other one. Okay, let's just carry on reading it. Oh, it's lost its way. Surprise, surprise.
Smurl Haunting. Article.
Right. Let's get that.
Read. Edit. His. Edit. The Smurls moved into a double-block house on Chase Street in West Pittston, Pennsylvania in August 1973. 4. They claimed that the premises were disturbed by a demon that caused loud noises and bad odors, threw their dog into a wall, shook their mattress, pushed one of their daughters.
I would want to beat up that demon that threw my dog into the wall. I'd be really pissed off if he hurt my dog.
Daughters down a flight of stairs, and physically and sexually assaulted family members on several occasions. 5. 6.
So that sounds almost like the entity again, doesn't it? So maybe there's some truth in this one.
6. In 1986, the family brought in a pair of demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren. According to Ed Warren, the demon that inhabited the Smurls' home was very powerful, and it shook mirrors and furniture after they tried to persuade it to leave by playing religious music and praying. Warren claimed he felt a drop in temperature.
Well, if they played religious music, that would be enough for me to leave.
Temperature, and saw a dark mass form in the home, and the demon once left a message on a mirror telling him to get out. After months of investigation, Warren alleged that he had a number of audio tapes containing knocking and rapping caused by the demon. 7. 5.
So how come they weren't getting EVPs then? You know, it's very strange, you ask me. Because they always get EVPs on the other ghost hunting when they got demons.
Professor Paul Kurtz of State University of New York at Buffalo, and then chairman of the Committee
Even
for
that
the
house
Scientific
looks like,
Investigation of...
Even that house there looks like Emptyville type house, doesn't it? Exactly the same type roof line, everything, you know. Even looks creepy. What is that, a Gothic style?
Investigation of claims of the paranormal said the Warrens weren't objective, independent, or impartial investigators, and characterized the Smurls' claims as a hoax, a charade, a ghost story. Kurtz said that the family's claims were possibly due to delusions, hallucinations, or brain impairment, and advised that they submit themselves to psychiatric...
There you go, it's got to be a mental problem. It's always got to be a mental problem when skeptics get involved, right?
Psychiatric and psychological examinations. Jack Smurl told a newspaper reporter he had surgery to remove water from his brain in 1983 because he had been experiencing short-term memory loss due to a case of meningitis in his youth. Allentown psychologist Robert Gordon commented that people often look at demonology to explain many tensions that they experience as individuals and within their families. 7. Spokespeople for the Roman Catholic Church, Diocese of Scranton, said they were unsure what might be causing the disturbances. St. Bonaventure University theology professor Alphonsus Troubled, OFM, said there might be other less demonic explanations. The home was blessed by several priests who said they saw no harmful activity while on the property. Janet Smurl claimed an unidentified priest performed 3 unsuccessful exorcisms, and that the demon avoided the rites by moving between the double-block home and following the family to other locations. In 1986, a priest from the local diocese spent 2 nights at the Smurl home and said nothing unusual happened during his stay there. 7. 8. In 1986, the Smurls told the press they were tired of the constant media bombardment. However, within a few months, they had authored, along with...
But that's the thing with me too. It's gone quiet in my house too, and it can come back randomly, and it can come back with more occurrences as well. Because it disappears when they get investigated, might be that they're just keeping hidden until the priest goes.
Along with Ed and Lorraine Warren and Scranton newspaper writer Robert Curran, a paperback book version of their story called The Haunted, published by St. Martin's Press. 9. The book was criticized by reviewers such as Wilkes-Barre Times leader staff writer Joseph Marazak, who wrote, Robert Curran forsakes the principles of his trade to give readers a one-sided account of what did or didn't occur over several years in Jack and Janet Smurl's former home. Reviewer Mary Beth Gehrman wrote that the book was poorly written, adding that it is hard to conceive of a supposedly sophisticated objective and, as far as I know, at least until now, credible reporter like Curran taking their story seriously given the complete lack of any empirical or physical evidence to support it. 7:10. That same year, the pastor of Immaculate Conception Parish in West Pittston, Reverend Joseph Adonisio, said the Smurls felt that after intense prayers, things are back to normal. In 1987, Janet Smurl told reporters that they still heard knocking and saw shadows. After the Smurl family moved to Wilkes-Barre, Deborah Owens moved into the former Smurl home in 1988 and told reporters she never encountered anything supernatural while living there. 7:11. In 1991, a 2-hour made-for-TV movie titled The Haunted was released by 20th Century Fox, written by Curran, the Warrens, and the Smurls, and starring Jeffrey DeMunn as Jack Smurl and Sally Kirkland as Janet Smurl. 7:5. 12.
What is it called?
References.
Haunted.
Edit.
Okay.
Carrot Richardson.
So you can go and watch it on a movie. What's that come up? 20th Century Fox. Who the hell's that? Alright. Sally. Might have to see if I got that movie and have a rewatch of it. Now I'm interested. But that happens, right? I have paranormal happen to me, but nothing happens to the parents. So, yeah. And I've actually backed up my stuff with cameras, right? I wish I just had all the other good stuff, you know, of the apparitions walking into the lounge in daytime. That would have been really great. Maybe in the future they can just put a gadget on your head and it can actually record what you visually saw. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, we got onto that one through Max site there, through Sheppton. What else you got here? Looks like it's messed up the header a bit here, isn't it? Books. Let's see, what's that one? Somebody Else's Dream. What's that about? And music. So what's this one here? The altered states of ufology. Yeah, so he's going to have to explain what he means there. Looks like it may be partly religious aspect to it, is it? But yeah, when he was talking about Lue Zondo, saying that he's talked to them and that witness accounts, and again, that sort of stirred me up a bit, because he's not familiar with the real story of Lue Zondo at all. And if he's meant to be a credible researcher, why didn't he know anything about Lue Zondo lying? When he's actually not a head of ORSAP or ATIP. So yeah, and promoting fake videos at expensive presentations. You know, you should be on top of your game if you're going to talk about those people, aren't you? You should know the real facts about what's going on. So yeah, maybe I just made him uncomfortable when I brought that up. I don't know, but he seemed to go too quick, didn't he? Anyway, I didn't mean to. You know, some people just don't have the time, maybe like I do, to research things all the time. And we just did one there on those two hauntings, right? What's that one there? Beneath pro-location of generation. So what we got here? What's that guy's name? Marilyn Manson? What's that one? I don't know. Who the hell's that? See, I don't know these people. Anyway, let's have a look, see what details we got on the UFO one here. See what it says, anything. Seems to be a blank page. The website's not working really well on my system here. It's a bit unfortunate. There's nothing on that page about the book. And we didn't find any on the Bigfoot tribe one. The only one we got is that cool region, I think. Here we go. Which we read out before, I think. Trapped at the bottom of a gold mine. And this one here, I think, is the other part of it, which we read out as well. Which has got a wee bit more blurb added to it. So, yeah, he said he interviewed 100 witnesses and got their statements. But anyway. Yeah, so we can't really find much about his books there. What was on Amazon? Let's have a look. I should have left it open before. That will at least have some blurb, won't it? But his website needs major update. If he improved his website there, I think he'd get a lot more sales, because I think people like the woo topic and they'll buy the books just to read up on what he has to say. I think he should, if he can, he should be able to go and research the UFO sightings of ex-vets. If he can get them to interview, tell them their story, he could put it together in a book. Because there's not too many people that have managed to do that. The ex-vets are very quiet and they won't come forward on what they saw because they wrote about the government and losing their pensions, I think it was. So, I can understand that. So, let's have a look. Can we get blurb on each of these? Flying saucer. There we go. At least that's got something going. It's got a fairly high rating there. Out of 14, is it? Every serious student of sources needs to have this important book. Flying saucer historic. How'd you say that? Historic. How'd you say that one? Can we read out stuff? I just want to read selection. Esoteric. Is that how you say it? Actually, what does it actually mean? It's a fancy word, isn't it? Where's the readout selection? It should be here. But it has updated and it drops out plugins that make it better. Read aloud. Doesn't say selection. Oh well.
Flying saucer esoteric captures an amazing consciousness. Here, the storied contributions of contactees, abductees, space explorers, and hoaxers weave unimaginable kaleidoscopic colors into the rich tapestry of ufology. Buckle up your seatbelts. Prepare for warp speed drive beyond space and time, thrusting into history's most amazing UFO events. The time is now. Report an issue with this product or seller. Customers who bought this item also bought. Page 1 of 2, page 1 of 2. The Lost Tribes of Bigfoot, Bigfoot Books by Hanger 1 Publishing. Maxim W. Furek. Kindle edition. -65, $16.99. Cole Region Hoodoo. Paranormal Tale, Maxim W, Kindle edition.
I want to read down here.
Kindle edition.
Let's see if we can click it.
Out the author. Maxim W. Furek is recognized as an academic and avid student of the paranormal. His eclectic background includes aspects of psychology, addictions, and rock journalism. He has a master's degree in communications from Bloomsburg University and a bachelor's degree in psychology from Aquinas College. He has written numerous rock biographies, as well as paranormal-themed books, such as Coal Region Hoodoo, Paranormal Tales from Inside the Pit. He has been interviewed on podcasts, including Exploring the Bizarre, with the legendary Timothy Green Beckley, and on Art Bell's Midnight in the Desert. His book Sheppton, The Myth, Miracle, and Music was featured on Australia's Mysterious Universe. He contributes to Fate magazine, Normal Paranormal, and Paranormal Underground. His previous book, Coal Region Hoodoo, has been described as a fascinating look into Pennsylvania's paranormal wormhole through a never-seen-before sociological and popular culture lens.
Also religious, religious lens. Anyway, so what are they saying about it all here? Can we see all of them? So he goes down to 2 stars here and so on. How do we get to see all that one? There we go. If you love the study of flying saucer, add this book to your collection. Verified purchaser. An awesome book on ufology. A very enjoyable journey of the UFO phenomenon. This author never fails to deliver. I have read all Mr. Furek's books, and this just might be the best one yet. I started reading, I couldn't put it down. I'm not sure if Robert Farmer has read it. This book is so detailed. I'd like to see what Robert's review of it would be, because Robert is a really avid book collector of UFO books, and he knows a lot about UFO history. So precisely researched that it's got to the top go-to book. So I reckon Robert needs to write a book, because he'd be able to sum up all the books he's read and plus new stuff he's seen online and make a better book. The only reason what's the meaning of any of the Roman numerals shown so cryptically on the front cover. I didn't see any Roman numerals on the cover. Did you? I didn't notice anything like that. I have to go back to it. Detailed, fantastic death reference. The John Keel of the 21st century. Reveals a fantastic combination of recent government documents, UFO sightings. So I'm just wondering how much of that is Lue Zondo's. How much is really lies, you know, that he's been fed and put in the book. The only way would be to get the book and actually see what's in it, I guess. See, if you're going to write a book on all the latest government disclosures, sightings and Lue Zondo stuff, then you'd have to include Greenstreet's research as a journalist, wouldn't you? You'd have to give a unbiased view on both sides of the coin, so to speak. Great read. I have to sign in. Why do I have to sign in? I don't want to sign in. So where's the numerals? Was there before? So that was 14 of them, was it? I didn't see any 2 stars. How do you get the lower stars? there. Now I've got to sign in to read those. No, that can't be right. What's that say there? How customer reviews and ratings. Rick. How about 3-star? Can I get that one? No. Well, that sort of sucks. So we can't get it overall. We can only read the best ones. What the hell is that about? It's coming up there. You can't click on there by the looks of it. So, is there another way to do it? Let's have a look. Top reviews. Alright. Most recent. See if that does it. No. 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. More reviews. Where are they? Alright, wants to log in. Amazon, you suck. Yeah, they want to sell the book, so they're only going to show the top reviews, aren't they? I want to know what the critics were saying. It won't open up. Why is it? Oh, right, it's already open. That's probably why. Okay, so what's on the cover here? Some flying saucers. Oh, right, there we go. XCV11. So what's that? 1,000? XC. I'm not up with my Roman numerals. CV11 to decimal is the number 97. And what does that mean? See, hundreds. Okay, that makes sense. $97, was it? So what's 97 got to do with the book? 1997? No. 97. So that's the sort of thing we need to ask him. If only he could stay around longer. 97 UFO. Phoenix Lights. Was that 97? I thought it was 98. So it might be 97. So that was 97. Maybe he's referring to that. That would be one of the best UFO accounts, right? What else we got? Anything else for 97? Phoenix Lights. No. What's that? Phoenix Lights. Phoenix, yep. So it was Phoenix Lights, okay. Secret Government X-Files reveal 97 UFO sightings. Ah, might be related to that. Let's have a look at that one. A standard. So this, so that's related to X-Files in Britain, by the looks of it. So they only had 97 reports, cases. Surely not. That have to be a really low figure. If you have seen a large black square in the sky, a giant flying scooter, or even an alien outside your kitchen window, you are not alone. Well, the classic image of a flying saucer But description of strange things over Britain's skies have been many and varied. So I don't know if he'd be talking about that being American, but who knows? Probably be Phoenix Lights, I'd say. Anything there that we need? Around 90% of cases can be explained. That's pretty low. It should be 99.5 or more. Last year, former MOD chief warned Britain could be attacked by aliens. Not Nick Pope. They're not calling him the MOD chief, are they? Nick Pope has just stepped down as head of the government Department of UFO Project. Bullshit. He was a T-boy. And he complained it had been virtually closed. Highly credible sightings were often dismissed. Some of the sightings are arguably be explained by descriptions given by witnesses. Boring. We want to see some videos like me, like I've got, in images. We don't want to keep reading stuff about stories and what people saw. We want to actually see what they saw. Oh, it's getting hot in here. I might have to end. Anyway. So we're trying to look at his other books here. So yeah, it's got mostly good reviews. But we can't read what the critics had to say. How else can we find it? Copy. And type in reviews and see if it's on other sites. Here we go. Like I said to him at the start of the show, I said off air, I said, you're coming on the most credible #1 UFO channel out there that has a high reputation of being factual and able to show credible information and back up what they say. And I said, you managed to get on it and you can prove to the people listening that you're credible and highly researched, then people will buy your books for sure. So that's what I said to him again, and then he said he wasn't feeling too well. So I thought, well, that's not going to happen for tonight, I don't think. But I was hoping I was wrong, but I wasn't. Flying Saucer Esoteric, what's that with Emerson again? Goodreads. 2 reviews, let's see what they got to say. I haven't got such a high rating there. 3.75, but it's still pretty high. Okay, we've got a 1 star, so can we read that one maybe? Oh, here we go. AI trash. Oh dear, that's not good. I wonder why he thinks it's AI generated. I suppose what you could do nowadays to create a book, right, is use AI heavily, and it will come across in a book. Right, so I wonder if we can do that now, actually. Let's actually see what it says about Lue Zondo. What's the good AI that we can use, though? What's Google's AI? Can we ask Google's AI directly? They haven't got a tab for it, have they? Haven't got a one called AI or whatever it's called. Gemini. It should be a tab called Gemini, shouldn't it? Gemini AI or something. So, can we get to Gemini? We can. Looks like it's a subdomain, so let's have a look. Enter your credit card. Hello, the Out There channel. Your personal AI assistant. Ask Gemini. Okay, maybe I should bookmark that. There. Done. Ask the question. What's the consensus opinion on Lue Zondo claims? Let's see what comes back with. I spelled something wrong, but if it's clever enough, it should be able to work out what I'm asking. Okay. Alright, at the top is it. Lue Zondo is a former US Army counterintelligence official who claims to have run a secret. See, they got word claims in there. Pentagon program investigating UFOs. He alleges the program found compelling evidence, although we've not seen any, that some UFOs are extraterrestrial origins, and the government is also covering up. Zondo's claims have been met with mixed reactions. Some believe people and consider him a hero for speaking out. Others are skeptical, noted that he's not provided any concrete evidence. What else we got? Many experts and government officials have publicly contradicted Zondo's claims. For example, Pentagon spokesman Susan Goff stated that Zondo had no duties related to the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identifier Program, and that he claims about the program are misinformation. So at least let's put that bit in. Despite the controversy, Zondo claims have helped to bring the topic of UFOs into mainstream. In recent years, well, it's made him really rich too. Don't forget about that, AI bots. And it's also, he could be just a disinformation agent that's brought it into mainstream so they get more government funding, right? Why they allow him to profit from it at the same time. In recent years, there has been an increase in government and media attention to UFOs, and some people believe that this is due in part to Zondo's efforts. It's important to note there is no consensus opinion on Zondo's claims. Some people believe him while others are skeptical. Doesn't talk anything about Green Street. Check completed. What can we reply to it? It's not really a thumbs down, it's not really a thumbs up, is it? What's that one? Is that reply? Regenerate, no. Copy, listen, report a legal thing. How can we improve the AI? You fail to mention the reporter. What's his name? Stephen Green Street. Street. Investigation into the claims and being a fraud and liar. That's what's he going to add to that. Oh, we better go and read his X page. Some sources dispute Elephant and portray him as fraud and liar. Stephen Greenstreet has published articles and videos that are, yeah, really that should be one of the points though, shouldn't it? Yeah, so what else can we try? What is the skeptical review about the Sheppton? How do you spell it? I can't remember. Have we got it here? Where is it? Damn it. Oh, we didn't see UFO paradox before. Is that him? I don't know. It doesn't say. Oh no, Keith Thompson. So it's got a mixture of books there. Let's go to that one. Which it didn't work. Okay, let's go back. Back. Okay. I'm not sure if it was that one. Pennsylvania, Wormhole, Philadelphia. Ah, the Pent Hit has Asylum. That's a really interesting place too. Here we go. Sheppton. Okay, how am I going to word this? I want to see what the AI has to say about it. Coal miners seeing the Pope. Skip to what else. Seeing the Pope. Okay, we'll just try that. We got people still watching here. I've sort of gone away from things here a wee bit, but it's probably end up being more interesting because we're doing our own research, you see. Is it thinking about it? Okay, it's come up. No. No. Where's the other bits? No. There we go. August 63, 3 miners were trapped. Sheppton coal mine after cave-in. 2 of the miners, Henry Thrawn and David Fallon, were rescued after 2 weeks. See, that's a long time not to have any food, I guess. They reported having seen visions while trapped, including religious imagery and the recently deceased John Paul of the 8th, is it? 10/10/28th. Some people believe the miners' visions were a miracle, while others believe they were hallucinations caused by stress, dehydration, and a lack of oxygen. That seems to be like more credible, doesn't it? And under stress, especially locked into a cave and having a background of being Catholic and raised on that sort of stuff. A skeptical view is that the miners' visions were not a miracle but rather product of their situations. The miners were trapped in dark, damp and dangerous environment. They were also under great deal of stress as they did not know if they would be rescued. These factors could contribute to hallucinations. Additionally, the miners' descriptions of their visions varied, which is not consistent with a shared miraculous experience. These suggest that the visions were individual hallucinations rather than a shared objective event. Overall, the skeptical view is that the Sheppton miners' visions were not a miracle, but rather a product of their situation. Well, there you go, you know. I don't know if Max is following us along still or not out there, or watch it later, I don't know. But yeah, his words were that it was proven to be true and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. What can we do? What else can we ask? Anybody out there? Any questions that you want to ask this AI bot? It's pretty quiet. I guess most people watch it when they come home later. And wish, damn, I wish I was there, because I got a question for it. Let's see. Let's talk about UFOs being seen. But we don't get to hear them talk about it, as they are scared about the government for some reason. X-Fits, okay, we'll see how it does with that. The AI is a lot slower than ChatGPT, isn't it? Oh, here we go. Can we get rid of that bullshit? Yeah, okay. Some sources claim that ex-military personnel have witnessed UFOs but are afraid to come forward to fear of government reprisal. However, there is no definite evidence to support this claim. Of course, there has been several incidents of former military personnel reporting UFO sightings. It's unclear how many of these individuals remain silent due to fear. The government has acknowledged the existence of UFOs and is investigating them. However, they have not released any information that would confirm the existence of extraterrestrial life. The lack of transparency could be contributed to the perception that the government is hiding something. Overall, well, just look at all the cover-up going with the US aid at the moment, all the corruption and payments going to one place and then the sort of being siphoned off to other things that it wasn't intended for. And there was a lack of transparency on that. And now we got people exposing it. They want to silence those people exposing it, namely Elon Musk and Trump. So, yeah, and Elon's young team of computer experts, or WizKids, that he's got, finding all the back holes, back things. I reckon it's a really good thing. First time the American government's going to be exposed and cleaned up, I think. And all your taxpayer money might actually go towards healthcare and education and other main projects instead of going to some government and elites' pockets instead. Wouldn't that be novel? How many reports of UFOs by Vietnam? How do you spell it? Vietnam. Troops. No, that's not how you spell Vietnam, is it? Nam. I got something wrong there. Vet. Well, it has to be Vietnam. God, I'm really suck, aren't I? Must be close. Let's see. It must be close, surely. No, even browser can't help. We'll see if the AI can help understand it. Okay, that come up pretty quick. Anecdotal evidence in some individual accounts. There is no official documented number of UFO reports. Oh, there you go. Viet name. Oh, it's close. It's got the I in the wrong place here. Here's what difficulties: quality, no centralized reporting, stigma and fear, focus on the war, declassification, and time. What we do know, there are stories from near-man veterans who claim to have seen unusual aerial phenomena. These accounts often describe strange lights or objects moving in ways that conventional aircraft couldn't. Project Bluebird, while the Air Force investigating UFO sightings from 1947 to 69, it's unclear how many reports came from Vietnam specifically. The project was criticized. Ongoing interest. The topic of UFOs and military encounters remains of interest. Where to find more? UFO research organizations, groups like National UFO Reporting Center, military archives. Yeah, if it's classified though, you ain't gonna see it anywhere. Yeah, so Max is the first one we've heard that actually said he saw stuff that was there, so that's good. At least we got one vet that come out and said something. But it doesn't talk about him. Yeah, what else can we ask? Now, I hear, we've seen various ghost hunters shows where they do go into old mines and they see shadow men or creatures dash across entrances, and they catch it on camera and also on thermal. But they don't actually see it with their eyes sometimes. And they get what they call knock-in sounds. And knocking inside a cave is meant to be really bad because it means that the roof is about to collapse, I believe. Let's see if the AI knows what is meant by cave knocks and mining. That should be an easy one for it. Cave knocks and mining refer to sounds or vibrations that miners hear or feel coming from the rock surrounding them. These can be indications of various things, some potentially dangerous. Rock stress. As mining progresses, the rocks around this excavated area experiences stress, ground movement. Well, obviously, if you got many earthquakes, that's going to be a bit of a hard one to get your fear over, because even if you got it supported by the beams, metal or wood, earthquake's going to rock around a wee bit and cause cave-ins still, isn't it? Imminent collapse, yeah. In some cases, loud cave knots can be a warning sign that the section is the roof or wall is about to collapse. I suppose they haven't got any examples of the sounds. Kind of creepy, I think. Some of the sounds they sound when they go ghost hunting. It sounds like they're responding. What else was I looking up? What's that one? Well, there's not really much we can look at now of this, I don't think. That's right, we're looking for the review, that's right. I need to go back to this one. So, I'm not sure why he called it hoodoo. We didn't get a chance to ask him why he called it hoodoo, but let's see if the AI knows. We're only getting into it, weren't we? What is meant by hoodoo? The word hoodoo has a few different meanings depending on the context. A spiritual and magical practice. This original meaning of the word hoodoo is from African American folk. Sounds like voodoo. Developed in the southern United States, incorporates elements from various African spirits traditions, as well as Native Americans. Hoodoo practices often involve the use of herbs, roots, and objects to create charms. Okay. Sometimes hoodoo can be used to refer to a specific spell. So how does that relate to voodoo then? How does it relate to voodoo? Well, both hoodoo and voodoo are rooted in African and spiritual traditions. They are distinct practices with their own unique characteristics. Here is a breakdown. Voodoo originated in West Africa. Hoodoo developed in the South United States among enslaved slaves. Okay. Key differences: religion versus folk magic. Voodoo is a religion with a pantheon of deities, priests, and priestesses. Hoodoo, on the other hand, is generally considered a folk magic tradition or a system of folk beliefs and practices. Okay. I think that sort of answers it, doesn't it? Okay, that one's done. What else can we look at? That's about it. I don't think there's any other books. No. Well, the other books look like related to his drug knowledge. So we might wrap them up there and keep it roughly together there. We did try to do some checks. I was hoping that he actually seen a Bigfoot too, experienced a Bigfoot. That would have been really cool. He goes out and exploring in the mountains and rivers and stuff, so I thought maybe he'd come across something. That would be really good. But yeah, guess we're finished up then. So I have got another guest that wants to come on. I hope they'll talk longer than 1 hour though. I'll keep giving it a chance. I'll say yeah, we'll take another one that's wants to talk about UFOs and promote his books. But I think I tend to scare off people because I do ask the hard questions. And normally you get these podcasters that don't ask any hard questions and they just sit back and just listen to all of it without criticizing it or whatnot. So he actually did this thing with the Warrens here. That's one thing. Rich background includes aspects of psychology, addictions, and music. Okay, we read that bit. The Sheppton Coal Mountain Region Paranormal Mystery was described by Fate magazine as unmatched in the annals of psychic research. The Associated Press called Sheppton one of the most significant news stories. It has been pronounced a continuous collective of hallucination and out-of-body experience miracle by Pope John and proof of life after death. Now, I'm not sure what the proof of life after death is there. And then we got this one here. Famed demonologist. Taken by Maxim himself by the looks of it. So he went and interviewed them. But what did he do? What did he do with them? Oh, here we go. It looks into the eyes of demonologist Ed and Warren and the twisted souls of serial killer Gary Hendnick and con artist Richard Shaver, or the preternatural secrets of Bigfoot cryptics, Kicksburg, the Smurl Haunting, Pennsylvania Dutch powwowing, whatever that is, the Roman Catholic mysticism, minus claim to being trapped. Yeah, okay, so you covered that. Well, that's all we know. Okay, well, that's it. Got a feeling it was made into a movie, though. I'm back on my mind, but I don't know what it was called. But yeah, go and check out the interview if you've never seen it. And if you're really scared, watch it during the day. Maybe don't watch it alone. And if you want to get really freaked out, open up a window with a slight breeze coming in and then watch it in the dark with the TV only. And that's the best effect, I think. And the music in it makes you shiver too. Really good music in it. And the way they've done the music when she gets attacked really adds to it, I think. Well, anyway. So yeah, that's Max. I have got some other bits here that I could talk about, but really I should do it on a separate show, I think. So I'll do another show in the weekend and catch up on that sort of stuff with these guys. Meantime, it's getting too damn hot here. And I don't think we've got too many people live with us at the moment. 5 viewers there. But unfortunate, but that's the way things go, isn't it? It's not really busy on those sites at all. It's better disappointing. So I'm going to say good night. Come on. He's not going to go. He doesn't want to go. He wants to talk longer. How did we go for time anyway? Well, I talked it up to 3 hours. There you go. I didn't do too bad, I don't think. Most people only do 1.5 hours still, don't they? Good night. Safe on roads. A terrible typer on this keyboard. Yeah, we're going to wind down now, guys. Thanks for those that showed up, and I think we got one person that said something on the site. It's good to hear from you. But yeah, we've got to hit a like if you liked what we did today anyway. Just do an update before I close down. We've got 4 likes and peeled so far. 5 on YouTube, so there's been people that dropped by and probably checked it out on their lunch hour and went away again. Looks like more people are coming on now. Oh, well, go back and watch it from the beginning, guys, and yeah, hopefully the next guest we have is a wee bit better. We need more guests like Robert Farmer, I guess, that hang in there. Yeah, got to get that up. End. Here we go. Well, we'll see if Max comes back again, I guess. We've gone into depth on what he wanted to cover. And we go from there, I guess. Everybody's welcome here. Don't be too scared. As long as you admit that you can be wrong, or you didn't realise there was more information since you wrote the book. This field is always research, and new information always comes to light. Okay, I won't wait for the full credits to end, I don't think. I'll just do it now.